Welcome to the Dream Huge podcast, where we'll talk with real estate investors, entrepreneurs, business leaders, athletes, and more to inspire you with their success stories so you can work hard, never give up, and dream huge. And now, let's start the show.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dream Huge podcast. Man, I'm super excited for this one today, folks. We love to share success stories from other huge dreamers, movers, shakers, influencers, people in the real estate business, and more. And hopefully these stories will help to motivate and inspire you to dream huge as well. So today we are joined by my co-hosts, JP for 3, top producer 2023, John Pavlansky, top producer at Dream Huge Realty. What is up, JP?
What is going on, man? I am excited for this one. We got a good friend and local and fellow entrepreneur on the podcast today. It's going to be a great pod. We're going to talk business. We're going to talk everything else. So I'm super, super excited. But I got another question. Pete, how are you doing, my man?
I'm excellent as always. Outstanding. Yeah, super pumped for this. Very good, close friend of mine. We're going to get to him in a second. I got one more co-host. We're going to introduce Mr. Justin Bigelow. Biggie, what is up? The 3-time champ. What is up, Biggie?
I'm off mute. What's going on? I just got to say, Pete, thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you, my man.
Thank you.
And good job. And seamless with the mute button today. But just got it right on time. Very good.
Yeah, so I got a little trick I just learned on a Zoom call. If you press and hold the space bar and then release, unmuted. So we're good.
Hey, man, everybody, we're learning all kinds of stuff today. That's why I keep coming in and learn something new every day. Thank you, Justin Bigelow. All right, so let's get to our very special guest, my good friend, Mike Bender, Big Mike himself. Mike is an entrepreneur. He is here. He's from here in Ontario, Ohio. He is the one of the owners of Mobibooth, a photo booth company that does photo booths amongst other things. And he is also, we're going to dive into and tie this back into real estate. He's also building a new house. So I thought that would be a good subject to cover as well, which is getting close to completion. So Big Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I am great. I'm great. Thanks for having me on. This is exciting. I've been looking forward to this. We've talked about this for a while.
Yes. Yeah, we have, man. Yeah, so excited to finally have you on, a fellow entrepreneur, and just kind of pick your brain. And so let's just take us back. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your history. Just take us back in your work history and how that led you to being an entrepreneur to where you are today.
All right. Well, let's go with the short version. That'll keep things moving along here.
Okay.
Many, many years ago, out of school, I originally started as an art major. So this is the part of my winding road here. So we'll go through the what made Mike Mike.
Yes, that's
we
what
started
we
out
want.
as a fine arts major at OSU. And about 2 years in, I'm like, I just don't think like my peers. Like, I just don't understand this. Like, they're saying one thing and they're like, the sky's pink. I'm like, no, it's blue. We just weren't, like, I just wasn't communicating well. I'm like, this is something I just don't want to do for the rest of my life. I enjoy art, but if I do that every day, I don't think I'll enjoy art as much. So in my brilliance, I just dropped out. My parents loved it. They're like, nope, now you go get a job. And I went and worked in a factory. I'm like, wow, this is even worse than I thought what the art was going to be. So I'm working 7 days a week. I actually worked a full calendar year every day at this job.
Dang, that's a grind.
Calendar year, and I was a third shifter to boot. Oof. And had a colleague there that I got along real well with, and he was an electronics engineer. And I'm like, why are you here? He's like, I just didn't enjoy doing the electronics, but we would talk stuff all the time because I was into car audio. So we'd fix amps together. And so I was like, I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to go get my electronics degree. So working that third shift, I am studying all throughout every moment I can. And then I'm going to school from 7 a.m. to like 4 p.m., going home, sleeping like 5 hours, going to work. Damn. Did that for a year. Get in there, fast forward a little bit forward. Good friend there that I made at school. He started working at another factory, but he was doing electronics there. I'm like, well, I would like to do that instead of what I'm doing right now. So I applied over there and went over there. It was Pico 2 in Galion.
Mm-hmm.
So started out there in a manufacturing test capacity, and slowly kind of worked my way up through. And when I left, I was like a director of verification and validation there. So basically, we took all of the new engineering designs, ran them through the rigorous test. That was in telecom. So telecom is a unique little world where it has all its own regulations. A test for a new product would be 6 to 8 weeks, and we would just beat these things up. But what it was a battery charger that went in a central office that just sat there and trickle charged batteries until the day the power went out. And then it would help monitor throughout that so that we had 911 lines when power goes out. So I stayed there for a number of years. And then this is where my journey takes another turn. One day I get a call and they're like, hey, Mike, we were acquired. Your job's heading down to Texas. Would you like to follow it? I'm like, no. My wife Jill and I, she was my fiance at the time, we're like, no, we would not like to go to Texas. We like it here in Ohio. So I declined that, and then I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? So I had started teaching myself software while I was there, and so I put my resume out, and like within a week I get a new job down in Columbus, which was amazing. It was, I spent about 4 years there. We were a healthcare advertising agency, and I was part of a group inside of there. It was kind of an incubator that we created new products for them to use for marketing to HCPs, so healthcare providers. And everybody there was an entrepreneur. I'm like, oh, this is not only a cool job, but like all my peers are doing it. So I need to chase my little dreams that I have. And, talking to them, like, well, these should be bigger dreams. So my wife and I at the time would do photo booth rentals. And we would go out on Friday, Saturday nights and go to the weddings, take a photo booth there, and, just have fun with everybody. Who doesn't love a wedding? Everybody's happy always there. Maybe there's one person in the corner that isn't. But for the most part, everybody is happy. And especially by the later in the evening, that crowd's happy. So we had a ton of fun doing that. We did that for a number of years, and we had children. So our oldest son, Leighton, was born, and all of a sudden Jill's not going out there with me. And now it's feeling like work. Unscalable work too. And so we hired some people and they would do it for us, but inevitably if we're leaving town, something would happen to one of them, and then I'm like turning around and coming back. So we wound that down and tried to figure out how are we going to do this. So we went online. So circling all the way back to the beginning, fine arts. Well, graphic arts I've never gotten away from. So we started an online store that services about 10,000 photo booth operators around the world, and they buy pre-designed graphics from us to use within their photo booths. And it's got a really unique name of photoboothtemplates.com.
Keep it simple.
We got the SEO right out of the gate, so it was really good. It started growing, got so big to where at one point we sat down, we're like, we can't scale this anymore if I'm working 9 to 5 at a job and then try and do this in the evening and be a dad and everything else. So, and I can't remember the year now. I think it was 2013, might have been 12. I walked away from being a W-2 employee, and my entrepreneurship truly started at that point. Right.
Boom. So let me recap that for a second. So for all of you dreaming of being an entrepreneur, step one is go pick out a factory and work there for 365 straight days.
It will change your perspective.
That will change your perspective.
Yes.
I mean, thank the Lord for factory workers. We need them. The world runs on them. But it's not for everybody.
Nope.
And neither is entrepreneurship for everybody.
Nope.
But, you were able to have a light bulb go off once you experienced a 365-day grind at the factory.
Yeah, I think that'll turn anyone's light bulb on. I need to do something else.
And I love how you took it all the way through and you kept the art piece intact, because you've always had that part of you that wanted to be an artist.
Yep.
So you brought that back and you figured out a way to scale it with the photo booth templates,
Yes.
selling to over 10,000 customers all over the world. Very cool. So where did that take you next?
So that summer, I didn't work a whole lot because that particular setup, I work with a few other designers. They do the work. I wrote the software on the back end that automated a bunch of stuff. So I automated over that summer months. And then at that point, it's pretty much been standalone. It takes about 2 to 3 hours a week out of my time. So then I was like, okay, now we got this. So let's find another stream of revenue. Because one stream of revenue is scary, because it goes away, it's gone, right? You don't have anything. So I reached out to my current partner in Mobibooth, another Mike. His name's and he had been an advertiser on a online forum group that I had also at that time. And I was like, hey, these iPads, they're starting to kind of become a thing. The cameras are getting better on them. At a previous employer, we leveraged them a bunch at trade shows. You make the traditional style of a photo booth with a Windows PC and a DSLR camera and everything in it. So you want to try a side project? I think these things might be a hit. And he said, yeah, let's do it. So we formed a new LLC, and Mobibooth was born in, what was that, 2016, January 2016. And so then we started going to work on what kind of product we want to make. So we both had some ideas in our minds. And first product we launched did not do so well. It was a little too large, didn't meet industry needs at that time. Everybody was really, really big on it's got to pack into one case. So then we launched, we kind of went back, ideated a little bit on that, came back with our second product, which you guys have all seen, which is the Aura. So we launched the Aura in December of 2016. And that's the ones that we've used at the parties. And that one, there was nothing that looked like it on the market when we launched it. We show up to our one time a year annual show, the Photo Booth Expo. It's the only thing that's like just pure photo booths. So we show up in 2017 and nothing looks like it. We sell the crap out of these things. We're like, God, we hit a home run. So that really good success out of that. We're selling hundreds of units a year, and we show back up 2018. Everybody's got a similar looking thing. You did good when all of your competitors have a product that looks somewhat similar. But at the end of the day, they didn't figure out the secret sauce. They never made them as sturdy. They just didn't ever feel as reliable. And so we've really done well with that over the years. We've obviously done changes to them over the years, but it's really been kind of our bread and butter. So that's where we're at, Mobibooth.
So I wanted to touch on this, and for those that aren't super familiar with photo booths and the importance of them and how they play into marketing within a business. So photo booths are, yes, they're fun and it's a great party favor and everyone gathers around it, but it's primarily there to collect customer data.
Definitely in a business environment. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that, how that works.
So it's more on the app side that gets driven. But you can set it up like the experiment we did with the Business Expo. You can collect any kind of customer information you want up front. But I think we were aggregating name, number, and email. So ultimately, we want to be able to contact people. So we need to, who are you? How can we address you? And then how can we reach you? Because can't help nobody if you can't talk to them. So then you're just going through the normal joys of, hey, here's, let's take a photo op together or something like that. We found tying it into the games worked actually best to get people to engage with it. Oh, hey, you just won over here. Let's go take that winning photo over here. Hey, you didn't win, but hey, your consolation prize is let's take a photo over here. So you can work it in no matter what. But at the end of the day, there was a few stations in the booth and we stopped at the photo booth last. And ultimately collected a good number of contacts out of that. And
Yes.
so the key is not just trying to take like a tool like a photo kiosk and say, hey, come take a photo, but to tie it in with something really, really does help. So like the games that were set up really help to kind of make that flow.
Yeah.
And another very important piece of that I think we've talked about too is not only you're collecting the data and you're having a way to contact them, but you're giving them a picture that's printed out immediately, and at the bottom it has your logo, Dream Huge Realty, with a cool little background around it.
Yep.
They put that on the fridge, and every time they walk by the fridge now, they see your business.
Yep.
So that's
logo
that's
and
huge.
phone number.
Yep.
You got to have your contact on there too. And we were also sending out an email automatically based on the information they gave us to them that would that also gave them a digital microsite they were landing on. It was branded Dream Huge. They share that out on the social media. Now you're getting, you're going exponential now, because for every one person that shares it out, hundreds of their friends are seeing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get 100 people through there, they all share. That's 10,000 people you possibly reach with your logo. I mean, just that quickly. It's super powerful, super fast. So they're definitely a good tool. It is a new space that we are personally as a company heading into, not so much the manufacturing, but we are moving into a managed services. So we will provide hardware, software, remote management of it, data collection, and then sending you reports on an annual or a monthly basis, or if you need them more frequent, we can do it faster than that. But that's actually a place that we are transitioning into, because we just see that there is a need there, an opening, and we'd like to fill that and be able to help people succeed in their businesses.
I love it.
Yep, data capture, and I say it all the time. In tying it back into real estate, we are not in the business of selling houses. We are in the business of generating leads.
Yep,
that's it. Generating and following up with leads if you want to succeed as a real estate agent. And man, what a great tool that Mobibooth offers. Love it, Mike. So tell us a little bit about some other products that has spun off into, some other things that you're working on.
Well, so the big push for us now is the inside of the managed services. We are a small company, so it's kind of consuming a lot of our resources right now. But we do have some other products that are like a handheld. So those also work really well for engaging with people. So that same ring light that's on the Aura unit, you can walk around with it. I'll bring one in and show you guys one. I don't, but they're a ton of fun for like a festival or something like that. You could totally walk around, big Dream Huge logo on there. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I'm taking photos to everybody here. Let's do a photo op. While you're in there, hey, why don't you text that to yourself? Collecting information.
Yep.
I love it. Getting face to face. I'm going to bring the photo booth right to your face.
Yes.
You're
that
right.
would be a powerful tool too in a festival, like out at say like incarceration when it comes. Mm-hmm. Being out there with one of those. 50,000 people show up in Mansfield, Ohio, a population of 46,000. I mean, it's wild, but that is such a marketing opportunity out there.
Yeah. Or even something like a Shelby Bicycle Days. Hey,
yes,
get the family together. Let's take a quick picture. Free
absolutely.
Charge. Hey, what's your email? What's your number? Let me send it out to you. Where you got local people, and you're gonna be able to possibly help them in the real estate world. It's just a terrific marketing strategy. I love it. But one thing too, I did want to ask Mike is, you mentioned you and the wife were renting photo booths before, yes. Correct? And I know you guys are still doing similar things with Mobibooth. What initially got you into it? Like how did you get into just renting it? You know what I mean? Like, was it something where you were buying it from somebody else and then renting it, or how did you get into that part?
That's a funny one. So rewinding way back. So we're planning our wedding. This is like 2008. We're in Las Vegas. I'm out there for CES. Jill goes out with me, and we're staying at New York. Get done with CES. We go upstairs there. We ride the roller coaster. I think it was at New York. New York was where the roller coaster was, one of them. Ride the roller coaster on top of the building. Come down, go through an arcade. She's like, hey, let's go hop in this photo booth. I'm like, no. We're going to go take some fun photos. Go in there. We just have a ton of fun. We do several sessions. We come out. We're like, we need one of these at our wedding. So fast forward, get back into rural Ohio, start calling around, looking around. Nobody rents them. They're rented on the East Coast and the West Coast and nowhere in between. The only ones that I could find that were rented were like the big ones that are at the mall. And I was like, that just doesn't work for transport. They're like, yeah, it's 1,200 pounds. It's like $600 to drop it off, and another $2,000 for the night. And I'm like, we're just kind of getting started in our life. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of money that I don't have. So I'm like, well, I can write software. I know how to work with electricity and electronics. Pretty handy. I can build stuff. So I made one out of wood, a webcam, a PC I had laying around, and I had 3 100-watt light bulbs inside it behind like a frosted glass. And I had found this relay that would accept a low voltage signal from, this is how old this is, an old serial port, not a USB, not a universal serial port, but a serial port. And I would send a control line across that to turn them lights on when they needed to come on. It was awesome. It was so much fun. We had a ton of fun with it. All our friends had, the photos were horrible, but they were, it was just like the old school dip and dunk, like you can't even tell your face when you're looking at them hardly, but we had a ton of fun with it. And everybody started asking as they started getting married, hey, can we rent your photo booth? And that was kind of where we came along. It was like, let's go ahead and stand up an LLC on this, and let's see if we can rent them out. And we did a lot of rentals. We did hundreds of rentals over the years.
Oh, freaking
very cool. Do you still have the prototype? We want to see it.
No, I do not.
Hey,
I think I even got rid of
it's in the photo booth museum somewhere.
I ran out of space in the house. Sometimes you just got to make the kids' toys one.
do you ever go back and think, Mike, what if I just stood my ground and told her, no, I'm not going in that damn photo booth while we were in Vegas? I mean, how different would it be? That's insane.
That's just one of them things where you don't know what door is going to open out of any opportunity you're in. You just really don't. It's so wild. I mean, I never in a million years would have thought I am leaving a 6-figure job that has benefits as a senior software engineer, and I'm going to go do photo booths. Never saw it coming. But it's been a fun ride.
It's not crazy.
It is.
Incredible.
That reminds me, the whole story is kind of like random. That reminds me how me and Mark started our ice cream business. We was just at a graduation party. You're like, man, this ice cream tastes pretty good. And we're all naturally entrepreneurial spirited. Like, well, how much does that cost? So like to have it at the office. And we're like, oh, wow, that actually doesn't cost too much. And then we did market research real fast. We're like, there's no competition. Let's do it.
Yep.
And we made some money.
Yeah. Awesome. You just never know. That lemonade stand, just starts scaling.
Yep.
What does it all always go back to? Helping people out.
Yep.
Right? You're helping people have fun. Helping people take photos. You're helping people have good cold ice cream. I think any one of us could take any business to the market and succeed with it.
100%.
Because all 4 of us right here, especially, truly have servants' hearts. We want to help people first. And so I don't care what the business is, I'm going to provide excellent, outstanding service, same way as Mike, same way as JP and Biggie, man. And that's what's funny. Like you said, Mike, get those multiple streams coming in, and set systems in place, and sell to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Absolutely.
We have shipped photo booths. I think it's to over 30 countries now.
Wow.
It's so wild.
It's insane.
International.
All right. So do we want to jump? Go ahead.
One more just before we hop into the house building.
Yeah.
And just a thing too. I don't know what episode we're on. This might be our 100th episode. We need to make sure we know which one it is so we can pop a bottle of champagne. This might be 100. Who knows?
It might be. It's close. Well, because we got like 5 in the bank, and we just posted 93.
Okay.
On Monday. So yeah, I'd have to look.
We are
You're
very
right
close.
there.
We
Right
need to
there.
make that an exciting one.
That's
sure.
a cue for producer Mark. Where are we at?
But I wanted to ask Mike, because I never knew that you had the spirit for art, and I just never knew. Do you still do art in any form? I mean, is there any kind of?
I play music. We do play music. Pete and I like to get together every once in a while and play a little music. It's one of the things that's kind of fun, especially like for, like me with my background with the photo booth world. Like when we're working with clients, I get to do all the graphics. So I do work with graphics a lot. I do all of our marketing graphics. Me and one of our employees work together on that. It's mostly in the digital space these days, but yeah, no, absolutely.
Very cool. All right, so let's get back into real estate a little bit, transitioning from Mobibooth. We try to keep this under an hour, Mike, so I don't want you to, because I know the house building has been, we could do a whole show just on the house build.
Probably, yeah.
But if you would, I've never built a house, and I know many of our listeners have, these guys have never built a house. So maybe take us through start to finish, or where you are now, what that process looks like, what you would do differently if you could do it again.
Well, we're about 60 days out now from going for that certificate of occupancy. So it all started, we started signing paperwork last March, I think. And we finally closed on some loans, I think in June, if I remember right. As far as the process, I think everybody should build a house. It will give you a whole new perspective on a lot of things, especially when you're shopping for a house. I would liken it the most to like an entrepreneurial journey. I mean, really, like you're going to have these peaks and these valleys, frustrations, joy. I mean, you get it all. So our personal experience, where we've struggled with our builder is on the front office side. So obviously if you're working with, we're working with a little bit larger builder. So they do have a front office and they work with select vendors and stuff, and they're based out of Columbus. So all their vendors are in that area. So we dealt a little bit with that. Definitely do your research on, looking around on how it is on the front end with that particular builder that you're looking at. That's been the heart of any of our issues, really.
So as opposed to that, maybe going with a smaller, more local builder, so you have a little bit better customer service. But with that, you're probably going to have a higher price as well, correct?
You may have a higher price. You may also not have the leverage to have the other one is you can't walk floor models. The bigger guys have floor models, and it's very helpful. We walked away from a few builders because anyone who builds the floor models, I kind of learned through the process, they kind of set that as their standard. They're like, we're going to build your house as good or better than our floor models. So when you're walking through and you're seeing craftsmanship and quality issues in the floor models, it's like, so pay attention to them little details when you're walking a floor model if you're building, because that is kind of the baseline that they all set at. So with a smaller guy, you're not going to get that. But more than likely they'll have somebody's home they can walk you through or something they're building at the time. The big thing that we, once we got past some of our frustrations up front and broke ground, we have been thoroughly impressed actually with all of our subcontractors we've worked with. They've done a great job. Particular company uses grade A materials. That's been another thing that we've been really pleased with. So it's moving along. It's moving fast. We've been, like I said, we were frustrated at the beginning. So it's high, you get the high first. We're closed. We're getting ready to do it. Digging a hole in the ground. Yes, we're going. And then it sat for a while. And we're just like, oh. And you get back into, you got to pick all these things. 9 million different decisions too. So make sure you delegate between, if the husband and wife's doing it, delegate. That I think that's saved our marriage. We have gotten through this with so far. We're not in yet, but we have not fought over anything yet. So I think that's a good run. But
how important is it to be there, like on site, daily, weekly?
well, we're only building 2 miles down the road, so any day somebody's there, we just stop by that evening. We have found stuff along the way, so we haven't had as much experience as far as like anything wrong. Like they've really done a nice job in that. But we did walk into some rooms where you're looking at it on a blueprint, didn't get to walk the exact floor model, and you walk in, you're just like, wow, this is really tight. So we did make a couple tweaks to a couple of the rooms while we were still in the framing stage. So definitely like in them early stage, like you don't need to be there so much for a foundation, but when they start framing that house and they're laying out them rooms, go walk them, go look at them. I personally think that's very important. And another one was walking the whole house and videoing it before they put the sheetrock up, so that you know where plumbing is and electric is and heat runs, and just so you know when you come back later, because inevitably you're going to live in it, you're going to change it over time. Mm-hmm. And so we did do that.
Smart.
We caught a couple minor things, but other than that, it's just been more of a let's go see what happened today.
Hey, what were some of the big eyebrow raising costs that you did not foresee?
I foresaw it, but it ended up being was the picking out of the stone.
The stone?
Yeah, we kind of missed budget a little bit there.
Okay, and is that on the front or is that all the way around?
Sorry, that is the countertops. The stone for the countertops. Yeah. If you've never remodeled or you've never shopped granite or quartz or quartzite, they just give you like letters and aisles. They don't tell you any prices until you're like, you've picked it out. You're like, we love this one. They're like, we are so happy to hear that. That is tier triple Z. It's our most expensive tier. Now that might happen with any of them that you pick out, but we've done it a couple times with remodels, and it just always seems to be that way.
Don't overlook the stone, the price of the stone.
You get a little sticker shock out of that. The other one that we had some internal frustration with is trying to, you want to make sure that you clarify with your builder exactly what you are getting at the price point you are quoted to start, because you're going to have change orders throughout. You're going to be coughing more money up. But for us, it was like, okay, so this is an upgrade, but the material doesn't cost that much more. The labor's the same. Why is it so expensive?
Right.
And I think, like the bigger the company, probably that type stuff is more expensive. So working with a smaller builder, you may not get hit as hard there because their hourly rates may not be as much for office work.
What was the difference? Why?
Never. That's been kind of a point of contention with us, with them, is there really is no why. It's just
so the lesson is
that's our price, and you're locked into their contractors. They won't warranty anything that's done by somebody else. See, and you're locked into these vendors, so it's one of them ones where you kind of just have to go with it and take the lumps along the way. At least that's the way I'm treating it. And like I said, it's really no different than like a market changes on you in your business, and you got to take the lumps. You're trying to figure out, well, what can I do to pivot? You're not going to pivot in this. I mean, some people pivot away from the builder, but in our case, it was like, well, let's at least push back a little bit. So the first ones we just kind of took, and then we kind of started pushing back a little bit more, and we did get some concessions along the way. So they at least did that part, because the concessions are important, like in a relationship,
Yeah.
So that helped keep the project moving along. Yeah, it started a little rough, as Pete can attest. Like, Pete, you know any good lawyers?
You got to keep them honest. And if you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't ask,
that's right. That's right.
So yeah, you got to ask. All right, I know JP. You got a closing at 4, right?
Yep. I got a closing at 4. Closing
All
at
right,
4.
we can wrap this up. We're going to be done here in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Awesome.
We're going to hit you with the huge 4, and then we're going to hit you with the rapid fire rounds. But we're going to have to fly through it. Sorry. I know you're a busy guy too, and so is Biggie. All right. So, are you ready for the huge 4, baby? What's the one thing you wish you would have known when you began your career?
This career as in the entrepreneurship, like where I'm at today?
Yep.
I wish I would have known to dream bigger. It's easy coming from a small town to think this is kind of what I can do. And then, getting somebody in your life that says, no, break them walls down and go bigger. Right. So that is probably the single most for me, because we would have scaled quicker. It wouldn't have taken so long. Like it took us a decade to kind of make the first jump that let us go. So that would be the biggest one is, making sure that you're not in your own mind putting the walls up on that dream.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Love it. What was your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
I would say probably that first product launch. I think we sold 7 of them. We built 10. I got one in my at the house here still. We have one at our shop down in Florida, and I think there may be another one somewhere. But the biggest thing we learned out of that was listen to the market. The market was telling us at that time they do not want things that go in 2 boxes. 1 box is it. So I think if we'd have fit it all in one, it would have been a success.
Love it.
What are the best resources that have helped you along the way?
Google, YouTube,
YouTube University,
peers really have been like the best along the way. I do wish I would have surrounded myself with more entrepreneurs early on. I was, like I said, I was fortunate when I went to the one job down in Columbus where everybody seemed to be. That kind of incubated everything. But then when I left there and came up here, I was struggling to find peers that I had a connection with. So getting out there and networking and finding fellow entrepreneurs, I wish I would have done earlier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest thing. I tell people that all the time. The people I owe the most of my success to, and it's 100% the mentors. The people. Sometimes you just need that extra push. You need somebody to say, "You can do that. What are you talking about? You can make that happen." So yeah, I agree with that.
Or someone to tell, it's like, "Hey, I'm going to do this," and then they come back a week later and like, "Hey, did you do that?" You're like, "No, not yet, but I'm going to because you're asking me about it. Now I'm being held to the flames here. I'm being held accountable." Mm-hmm. So that accountability also.
Yep. And I love that you said Google and YouTube too, because a lot of the times it's based on you. Go find the answers. Find the answers. When in doubt, GTS. You guys know what GTS means, right?
What does that mean?
Google that shit.
I know we're on a time limit. We have a funny thing in our industry is, and it's the old "let me Google that for you." Have you ever seen that website? Oh, go Google. Let me Google that for you. It's amazing. You type in the search term, and it like pulls up in a window Google and types it in and hits search. Where do you think we're getting these answers from for you?
Right.
Googled it. That's awesome.
I think your closing agent just walked in, JP.
That's all right. We're good. Let's get through the rest of this.
Last one.
All right. Yep. We got plenty of time. We're going to knock it out. What are 2 books that have inspired your success, Big Mike?
Platform is one. And the other big one is I'm not a huge book reader overall, as far as like I like to take excerpts out of them, but I am horrible about remembering what the book name is. But Platform was the biggest one for me to start off with. And that one's all about building an online community. Doesn't even have to be online, but the same tools could be used there. That would be the single biggest one for me.
Love it. Platform. I'm going to check it out. All right. Are you ready for the rapid fire round? You're going to come quickly off the top of your head with the first thing that comes to mind off that freshly shaved dome right there.
Blue.
What is your spirit animal?
Spirit animal?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Probably a wolf.
Okay. All right.
What is your favorite movie?
So many good ones out there. Again, I'm not good at the names of stuff. I enjoy a lot of them. Young Guns 2 was my favorite growing up. Probably still the top.
Nice.
Go.
What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
You just had to say it. You just had to tell you.
Yeah, I'm not lying either, though.
What do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
Being with the family. I love being on ball fields, at sporting events. Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. If you could have dinner with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
I would love to have dinner with Babe Ruth. He has been an idol my whole life, but if you look at what that man did in his time as far as marketing, as far as just building a persona, I mean, like, he was larger than life in the 20s. I mean, he was a marketing machine. And, he ate like a half dozen hot dogs before he went out there and, was the home run king for more than 50 years. I think he would be a super fun one to just talk to and just that would be it.
That's awesome.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't do karaoke, but I've played in bands and I don't sing. I play guitar.
Nice.
So I don't have one. As Pete can attest, I don't really sing. I've seen you sing, and you're a good singer. You got to give yourself some credit. But if you did, you would pick something from the 80s.
It would absolutely be some sort of hair metal.
Yes.
It would absolutely be. It's what I grew up on.
Whitesnake. Here I come again.
Whitesnake, nah, I'm not going quite that high. But I don't know. Yes. I don't know. A lot of the old Warren songs, but they were all high-pitched back then. I mean, Tesla.
What's that British
Okay,
band?
we got two more for you. What is something you fear?
Regret. That is probably my single, and I've fought it over the years too. It's like you look back and you're just like, why didn't I walk through that door? Because, it's just the unknown. So I don't know if it'd be regret or unknown. It'd be one of the two, I guess. Yeah. I regret not going through there because of the unknown.
Fear regret too. So it's a good fear to have. Why didn't I buy that house with the water issues?
Right. I thought it was
The answer is because everything happens for a reason.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
So don't live with regret.
Last one, here, big man.
Yeah.
All right. What, Mike, is your greatest accomplishment?
It's definitely, it's under this roof. It's the family. I mean, without a doubt, it's like providing for the family while making, other people's lives. We build tools in our company that allow other entrepreneurs to go provide for their families. So that's really cool. So it does come back, but by helping others, I can take care of my family. And that is by far my biggest accomplishment.
That is it, baby. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us, Big Mike Bender. Appreciate you
for
very
having
much.
me.
Hey, Mike, where can folks find you and your company online or follow you online?
I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So just Mike Bender at Ohio. I think most of those are. Company's Mobibooth. It's mobibooth.co. We're also on all the socials.
Good. All right. Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time today. Appreciate you sharing your story to help motivate and inspire others, man. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, JP, John Pavlansky. Thank you, Justin Bigelow, Biggie, and myself, Pete Peterson. We are signing off for now. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, remember the rules. Work hard, never give up, and dream huge.
Huge.
Boom. Thank you,
Let's
Big
go.
Mike.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you
Mike.
soon, buddy.
All right.
Thanks, fellas.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Dream Huge podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. For more inspiring content, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Dream Huge Realty and on TikTok at Dream Huge Inc. Until next time.